Okay, I believe we are live. Let me see here. Um, I'm not sure if the. Oh yeah, yes. So we are live. That's right.
Really?
Very good. Very good. Very good. Well, this is Six's Tiny Nightmare, episode 4, English class with AI Dungeon, where we practice our reading, pronunciation, build our vocabulary, and it's an RPG but with different rules. Six shall write what they do and say, and the AI will use any English mistake, or if you don't make any mistakes, it will still make a grammar roll, right? It will create a question, but especially to focus on our writing mistakes, of structure, grammar, spelling, and use this as a tool to see how successful you are, right? So you write down what you do and say. The AI will analyze what you have written and create a question, an A, B, C, D, or question, depending on how you answer this question with what you have written, will determine if you have a, a, a hard success or a critical success, uh, just a normal success, right? And hard failure or moderate failure or whatever. It always says something different about this, right? Cool. So this is Six's Tiny Nightmare, episode 4. So what happened on episode 3? So you had gone because you had gone to the church to look for answers, right?
Exactly.
To talk to a priest that had um, found you when you were a little baby, right?
Yes.
So you went back to this priest to ask for some answers, right? So tell me about that.
Okay, so I went to this church and I was able to find him. Um, but I at the moment we are talk.
The
I
moment that we are talk,
that we are
the moment that we,
when talk.
the moment we were talking, or when we were talking.
We're talking. Okay,
Uh-huh.
we're no, it's not we're talking because I have this feeling, this fear to
So you
to
have
speak
past.
to
Remember, you
him.
talked about the past episodes. So you
I
had,
have.
you were, or better say, in Portuguese, eu tinha medo. We use a lot ter medo, right?
Mhm,
That's in English. You could say you have fear of something. It's not like totally wrong, but it's more fluent to say that you are afraid of something. So,
mhm.
né,
Okay.
not muito temer medo. Você é afraid, amedrontado. Você é, right? Because so estava com medo, right? Afraid is like com medo. Remember, in Portuguese, you have this com alguma coisa, right? Com medo, com fome, com raiva, né? Com sede, com something. In Portuguese, this com, right? This preposition with this noun, o substantivo, né? In English, we have an adjective, right? So, com fome is hungry,
Okay.
right? Com medo is afraid. Com raiva is angry. Com sede is thirsty, right? Com sono, right, is sleepy. So we have these
Exactly.
adjectives with com, right? So you were afraid to talk to him, right? He came
Yes.
out, right? He heard you. You were afraid. You were a little nervous, right?
Yes,
You
and I
weren't so
hid
sure.
from him. Right.
What did you do?
I hid
Yeah,
from
you
him.
hid from him. Yes, you hid from
Yes.
him. That is right.
I hid from him, but uh, he was able to note my presence. Right.
He was able to note, not to note,
Notice or
notice. Yeah.
notice, yeah, to notice my presence. He uh smelled me,
He smelled you, yeah. Or he smelled your hunger. Yeah, it was kind of because he
yeah.
started to sniff the air.
Oh, yes, and
Right? He started to sniff the air.
he fueled uh, the a darkness in the atmosphere. I think
Yeah.
my so that uh, deliver my presence. It's okay for this case.
Deliver. Oh,
Yes,
deliver like entregou. You're thinking in Portuguese, right? Entregou.
yes, me pegou,
Right.
exactly.
Entregar something like it gave your position away. It gave you yourself away. It's like
Gave
almost like entregar. But entregar is like to deliver. Give away is like dar, né? Tipo, give away. Like give away your old clothes. Vai dar, doar. Give away can
okay,
be like doar. Então, so you gave away your presence. Você doou sua presença.
okay.
Right?
And I remember that he was holding a piece of bread,
Yeah.
right? A hard bread, I think.
Yeah, hard old piece of bread because he heard that he could see that you were hungry.
Yes, and he mocked me using this piece of bread.
Yeah, because he kept it right out of your reach, right? Right where you couldn't get it, right? Because he's tall, like
Yeah, and I have written the last part. We started to talk after after this, and I said something about that I came from the future,
yeah. So we
and
did the
I
yeah. This was the thing you said. I hesitantly say, "Father, read here." Wait. I'm not
yeah,
sharing with you, right?
yeah, nice.
I always forget to share with you the screen. Wait. Well, sorry. 1 second. You know,
Oh,
right? So let's see here. So this was the last thing you said when we did the grammar roll, right? So this was so let's read the last thing that you what you had written. It might
yeah,
let me turn off the camera here.
great. I accidentally say,
Hesitantly. I hesitant.
hesitantly,
Uh-huh.
hesitantly say, Father, I traveled to the future and I have seen some things, some scared things.
Some scary things, right? Scared,
Scary,
coisas assustadas, coisas assustadoras, scary, some
scary.
scary
Oh, okay,
things.
with Y, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Some scared things.
Yeah,
I don't
scared,
know.
coisas assustadas. But I think the AI understood
Okay.
what you meant.
I don't know if you should know about that, but at your end, you
But it
said
also
that,
understood at when no leito de morte, right? You
yeah,
that's what you wanted of the priest.
yes,
At
exactly.
your end, at his the end of his life, at the end of his life,
You said that you had knowledge about me and that I should have come to you earlier.
I should have come to you early. Yes. So there were
The grammar rule. Oh,
yes, you did the grammar roll. We don't need to see that. If anybody wants to see it, see episode 3. Go back and watch. Go back and watch episode 1, 2, 3, and then come here on to 4 if you want to follow the story. But you practically got critical success and a partial success here.
yeah.
What were the things we talk about? Like you correctly used simple past traveled and saw to keep consistency because you correctly identified the difference between an emotion felt by a person and a quality of an object. Here you fix the punctuation and contraction perfectly using a period. So some writing things. While at the end of your life is grammatically fine, it sounds a bit literal. And spooky RPG at your end in your final moments.
Mm,
This was I like the most. At the end of your life, why not? Well, okay. Offer carries more weight. Your choice is perfectly correct. Is perfectly correct English. So we already did that. So let's go to the outcome because I don't think we've read this.
no.
No, this is what we haven't read. So you told the priest. So basically, you told the priest that you came from the future,
Yeah.
and at his deathbed or at his final moments, he told you, "Oh, you should have come to me earlier to talk about your parents or whatever." Right? So now you're back in the past. Because that's one thing. This is a surrealist story. I guess we don't know. Six are characters from the past and from the future at the same time.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? I don't know. We shall. It's part of the story.
Probably
That's
not.
it's probably that's part of the story. Just deal with it.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Okay. So let's go. You may read.
Okay. The outcome. The priest's breath hitches. A wet whistling, okay,
Whistling. Just will be a
whistling,
whistling. Uh huh.
whistling sound like a bellows full of holes.
Bellows full of holes.
Bellows full of holes. What does it
Usually
mean?
bellows. I know. Bellows is usually used like as it's like a type of sound to bellow, like to a type of yell. But as a noun, I confess, I don't know. I'm going to check here.
Great.
what you know what what is a bet? Because like okay, no, like this one. Okay, I guess I know because it's something bellows in the wind is like like a flag moving in the wind, uma bandeira do jeito que se move.
Okay.
That it's the flag is bellowing in the wind. You know, but let's see here. One moment. Depending on it, how it's used, the two noun usually plural bellows. Bellows is a device designed to deliver a strong blast of air. Okay, yeah. It features a flexible. Ah, it's let me see. I can't show in the. No one will see here, but maybe you will know what this is. That thing of bellows. Those things of air that you go. It's like a
Ah,
bomba de ar,
I know.
but with what do you call it? It's not like these modern air pumps. It's with those we see in older cartoons.
Yes.
So it's like it's full of holes. His voice, because it's if you're trying to pump air, and it's full of hairs. What's the name of this bellows tool in Portuguese? Let's see, because I have no idea. I had no idea that's what you called that thing.
In
Yes, me
Portuguese,
too.
a bellows tool is called a fole. If you are
Fole.
talking about the tool used to
Oh,
blow air
Fole
into a
de
fireplace or a
ferreiro.
blacksmith's forge, it is often referred to specifically as fole de lareira, fireplace
Fole,
bellows,
fole,
or fole de
fole de
ferreiro,
ferreiro.
blacksmith bellows.
blacksmith.
Blacksmith
Interestingly,
bellows. Yeah,
Wow.
you use them. You see they use it for air, right? You see in blacksmiths, right? And
Yeah.
ferreiros and things like that using and not only cartoons, right? And old, you know, medieval movies with
Hmm.
blacksmiths forging weapons, right? Forging shit,
Yeah.
right? Swords and stuff.
Great.
Okay, so that's what a bellows is. So his the priest's breast hitches kind of kind of a wet whistling sound like a bellows full of holes. So one of those air pumping things full of holes. Okay.
Cool. He slowly lowers the
Lowers. He slowly
lowers.
lowers. Yeah.
He slowly lowers the bread, his milk eyes widening until the pale skin around them cracks. My end, he whispers, the word echoing off the stone walls. You speak of a time that has not yet bled into the world. You speak of my death as if it were a memory. He leans in closer, his face inches from your hood. You can smell
You can
the scent,
smell the scent.
the scent of old paper and something metallic, like blood on a cold blade. He doesn't look angry. He looks famished for the information you hold.
Famished is like really, really hungry for it. Because if I'm
Hungry.
famished, if I mean famished is
Mm,
faminto.
very curious in this case.
Yeah.
Okay. You. If I told you to come to me earlier, he rasps.
Resps. Yeah, because he's talking. If I told you to come to me earlier, kind of his voice is like that. It's
Great.
he talks like that. Maybe he was a smoker. See, smoking is unhealthy, people.
It is because the church you remember is not a house of a prayer. It is a nursery. Nursery
It's like
for nurse.
berçário or creche or. But my berçário for babies, but the nursery can be, sometimes creche, sometimes.
Okay.
But mainly for babies, though. Nursery, mainly for
But it's
babies.
in a hospital in general.
Like berçário, right, in a hospital.
Yeah,
Yeah,
great. And the things that we
that
were planted in you, they are beginning to bloom.
and the things that were planted. So your powers, I guess, because you have powers, mind reading powers, time traveling, I guess, powers too. I
Yeah.
guess you have weird powers. I guess you can improvise your powers as you go. Remember, is your story, but well, the powers that you have been planted in you.
Mhm.
That were planted, they're beginning to bloom now. One thing here, remember, this isn't wrong here. There's nothing but one thing that'll be a little more correct is the things that have been planted in you, they are blooming now. That would be better. Present perfect would be better than past simple. Why? Because the okay, they were planted in the past, right?
Yes.
But this thing that happened to you in the past has an effect right now in the present. They
Mhm.
are blooming now. So, in more formal English, right, it would be best to say, and the things that have been planted in you, they are blooming now. But this isn't wrong. Remember, it's not wrong, right? It's not wrong. It's more everyday talking. But, it's like I tell people, oh, but if I speak like this, oh, and the things that have been planted in you, they are blooming, they're beginning to bloom, will you sound like an asshole, like a pretentious asshole? No. Actually, no. No. You know, even though this is more everyday speaking language, it's not formal language. But again, using the present perfect correctly doesn't make you sound like a pretentious asshole. It doesn't. You know, what makes you sound like a pretentious asshole is using like a lot of difficult vocabulary that no one uses, ever.
Mhm. Okay.
Because you learn new words and want to use it like, in everyday conversations about things just to show that you know big words.
Mhm.
That's being pretentious. Now, using correct structure, no. Correct structure doesn't make you sound pretentious. You know, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn big words and learn, new vocabulary. Yeah, but there are moments for that. Right? Write a
Yes.
story, write a poem, you know? Write a song. Get your guitar and write a song with all the big words you've learned, right? That's okay. You know. But okay.
So
So just a good bad. So if I told you to come earlier, he asks, it is because the church you remember is not a house of prayer. It is a nursery. And the things that we're planting in you, they are beginning to bloom. Okay.
okay. He reads out.
He
His
what?
reads out.
He reaches out.
Reads out. He reaches out. His cold, two long fingers hovering just above your forehead. Tell me, Six, in this future you saw, was I still wearing this robe? Or had I finally become the thing that lives underneath the floorboards?
The floorboards. Okay.
Floorboards.
The floorboard. What are the floorboards? The floor, the ground will show. That's made out of wood. Floorboard. So, and there's probably some space underneath, like a basement, maybe.
Mhm.
Usually, churches have crypts, right? There's an old Catholic church. There's crypts right under the church.
Okay.
in many of them, right? So the thing under the floorboards. Okay, well, what does this
But hey,
mean? What does this mean? Okay, remember
yeah,
this is a surreal story.
yeah.
It would
Because
probably be directed by David Lynch.
okay,
So yeah,
he
so
used leaves underneath the
that
floorboards, but
lives the thing. So wait, so how can that be? So tell me, six in the future, was I still wearing this robe? Okay, so that's me. The robe he is wearing. That's something that he is in. He's inside the robe. He's wearing the robe. Or had I finally become the thing that lives? That means it lives now. There is something right now that lives underneath the floorboards.
Mhm.
So he's here as a priest. There is something that lives under the floorboards, but how can he become something that exists right now? Again, it's a surreal story, right? You know, past and future mix, reality and the laws of physics don't work. This is a David Lynch story. People think, oh, it's a Little Nightmare story. No, it's a David Lynch story. You know, you don't know David Lynch, go look, find his movies. And then you'll go, if you watch David Lynch movies, you'll say, ah, okay, yeah, this is a David Lynch movie. Okay, so continuing.
He suddenly pulls the bread back, his voice turning sharp. First, prove your sight. Tell me one specific scary thing from that future. Describe it, and I will give you the bread and the name of the man who left you in that box.
Oh, okay. So he
So
has
easy
some
is
things, right? So he wants to know what he was. Was he still in the robe, or had he become the thing underneath that lives underneath the floorboards? And first to prove your sight. First prove your sight. Okay, what you see. Tell me one specific scary thing from the future. Okay, so what scary thing have you seen in the future? Describe it, and I will give you the bread and name of the man who left you in that box. So the story is also giving you at the same time a writing activity, which we already do,
yeah.
but it's giving you a writing activity. Well, what do? You may write down what you do, and you know the rest.
Right.
So, what will six do and say now? What has six seen in the future? What scary things? We shall see. We shall see. what will Six say to the priest?
Just a moment, I'm finishing.
Don't worry about it. And also try not to think too much about it, right?
Yeah.
Right. Remember, don't worry about, oh, is it right? Is it wrong? Of course, do the best you can, obviously, right? But remember, this is the time. If you have doubts about writing something, write it. Right? Don't. If you're insecure about something, then you should write it. This is what you should do, right? Because if you were doubts with something, that means you need to learn that thing, right? So yeah. Let's just looking at that. What is it? So the priest said, "Tell me, Six, in this future you saw, was I still wearing this robe, or had I finally become the thing that lives underneath the floorboards?" Whatever that means. Well, Six knows, right? We will see this. Hopefully, we will have this answer. And
Right.
also, the priest asked Six, "First, prove your sight. Tell me one specific scary thing from that future. Describe it, and I will give you the bread and the name of the man who left you in that box." And we shall see this right now. So,
I sent Mr. Lyles.
very good.
I
Here.
try not to think too much, but I'm mixing a lot of time tenses, so it's very difficult to.
Okay, so that's why we're here. Okay, so is this all narration or is it dialogue?
Uh, it's a both.
Okay, so let's read. Let's read and then we'll talk. So you
Yeah.
may begin.
No, I think it's more a dialogue because it's six
Yeah, because
saying
she's
things.
answering, right? You're answering the priest here, right? So one thing for dialogue, what should we do with dialogue?
I need to use I say, right?
Okay,
And
yeah, that word that helps. I say it with comma, or I answer, or I any other verb, right? I whisper. Depending, remember, I put I say, but we
whispering.
can remember we can be a little more creative with some of the vocabulary, right? I
Yeah.
whisper, I yell, I sing, whatever, I
There's a
growl.
musical right now.
Yeah. You could use a lot of different words, but I say, okay, I say, but there's something else. So I say, comma. There's something else that's very important to put in dialogue for us when we're reading, especially in English, when we're reading something, we say something, and that is remember between quotes.
Between double quotes, right?
Yeah. So if all of this is dialogue, all of this should be between quotes,
Great.
right? And the period is inside the quotes like this. Okay. Very good. So you may read. I say.
Okay. I say, in the future, in that alternative reality, I have known nothing about you. And when I met you, it was too late. When I discovered about the priest and the church, I followed the clues and reached. I forgot something here, but
Reach the
the the church or
the
it
church.
was a little repetitive, but
I followed and I reached. Okay, so priest and the church. I followed the clues and I reached. Instead of say the
I
church,
reached it to you.
I reached
To you is
to
better.
you.
Yes.
You okay?
Reach it
If you
to
think
you.
that's right, that's good. Okay.
Okay. And then I found you. And then let me rephrase.
Oh,
And
okay.
then I found you. Follow.
Okay, so here
Follow.
to you, and then I found you.
Oh, maybe I use it instead of to you. I use it because I reached the clues, maybe, or I follow.
Or the church.
Yeah, I
I
reached
reached
it.
it, and then
Yeah,
I found you.
and then I found you. Follow in the entrance of the church with a knife in your chest. Can I use this stuck in your chest or something?
Stuck in your chest. You could use that, but it's like preso. But stuck is like it feels like preso.
Yes,
Maybe you couldn't take it out, but it's okay.
in just in. It's okay. With a knife in your chest, and I was just, and I just was. I think I inverted here. I
And
was.
I just was.
It's okay. I just was
I
able.
remember right now. I won't say. You tell me what
Okay.
you think. You fix what you think. Yeah, you fix what you think. With a knife in your
It's
chest,
okay.
and I just was able. Okay,
Able to see,
to
not to
see.
talk. Yeah,
Good,
to
good.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After two, we'd never put a verb in the past. Never
Yes.
to saw, never to played. Right? Very good.
To see a shadow of something leaving the place. At that moment, you were unable to say that things to me, and the things that we
That we were
said.
talking about before.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Let's see what it does. There's some things that I would like to talk about. Well, let's see what this does first, right? And then we will talk. So, the priest draws back slightly, his long fingers twitching as he absorbs your words. The vision of his own demise seems to echo in the damp, cold silence of the church corridor. Before we see how he responds to the chilling details of his death, let's look at the grammar roll to see how effectively Six communicated this bleak vision. Okay, yes, there's a few things here. So let's see. Number one, the vision of death, analyzing your sentence. In that alternative reality, I have known nothing about you, and when I met you, it was too late. Okay, so you are talking about a specific completed period in the past before meeting him, even though it's in the future, right?
Mm,
It's the future, but this future is your past,
yeah.
right? That the future is your past here, right?
Okay.
And you know, that's the thing about time travel here. But the future here is in this case is your past. So it was completed period in the past before meeting him. Which tense structure fits best for this, right? So, A, in that alternative reality, I knew nothing about you. And when I met you, it was too late. B, in that alternative reality, I had known nothing about you. And when I met you, it was too late. C, in that alternative reality, I know nothing about you. And when I am meeting you, it is too late. D, in that alternative reality, I didn't know nothing about you. And when I met you, it was too late.
Mm, I think the A is the best one.
You think A is the best one. In that
Yeah.
alternative reality, I knew nothing about you. And when I met you, it was too late. Okay, let's see. 2. Analyzing your sentence. When I discovered about the priest and the church, I followed the clues and I reached it. In English, the verb discover usually takes a direct object rather than the preposition about. Maybe giving spoilers. Okay, for, let's see. What is? I won't read the rest. About finding out a piece of information or identity. Which option sounds more natural? A. When I discovered the priest and the church. When I found out about the priest and the church. When I discovered information about the priest and the church. all of the other better alternatives.
Mm. This is a trick one.
Tricky. This is a tricky one. So which?
No, I think not all of them are better. So I will go with B. When I find out about the priest.
When I found out about the
Oh,
priest and the church, find
yeah,
out. FIND.
found
When I
found out
found out. So B.
when it's good. Yes.
Okay. Analyzing your sentence. With a knife in your chest, and I just was able to see a shadow of
Mm.
something leaving the place. So there is a minor spelling. Okay.
It's I mix. I know.
Yeah. A mix. Okay. So let's see here. What? So with maximum dramatic impact. So what is the best alternative of what you have written? With a knife in your chest, and with a knife in your chest, and I saw only, and I was only able to catch a glimpse of a shadow leaving the place. B. With a knife in your chest, and I just was able to see a shadow of something leaving the place. With a knife in your chest, and I was able to just see a shadow of something leaving the place. D. With a knife in your chest, and I saw just a shadow of something leaving the place.
A sounds better to me.
A.
Yes.
Okay. 4. Analyzing your sentence. At that moment, you were only able to say things to me. The word, okay, don't look at the rest. Let's just see here because it's giving spoilers, kind of.
Okay.
A. At that moment, you were only able to say that thing to me. At that moment, you were only able to say those things to me. At that moment, you were only able to say them things to me. Both A and B are grammatically correct. To say that thing to me or those things to me.
To say that thing and those and D, I think it's okay.
D.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see.
Because B is correct too, right? So
Let's see. The grim vision of the bleeding priest and the fleeing shadow settles heavily over the dusty study. Let's see how well Six's dark prophecy scored on the grammar scale. So it gave you all a critical success. However, A, I would have been given I would have given a partial success, but we'll talk about it. So in A, critical success, excellent. Using the past simple, I knew nothing when I met you, works perfectly for recounting a straightforward sequence of past events in the story, right? Okay, that is correct. Option B, this was the best. With the past perfect, had known, could also work to show a state existing before meeting him. But A keeps the narrative rhythm sharp and moving. No. Yeah. But here is talking about this, right? Complete which tense structure fits best. You are talking about a specific completed period in the past before before meeting him. Right? I would choose B. Okay, what is kind of asking? Yeah, A it will be a critical, but still in the alternate reality, I had known nothing of you. Why? When I met you, like before that moment, I had known nothing. Knowing him, because when you meet him, you know him, right? Before meeting, you hadn't known. So there's a connection of past with past. But yeah, A isn't wrong. Of course not. I knew nothing about you when I met you. It was, yeah, because I could say at that moment of meeting, I knew nothing about you. Right? At the moment of meeting, I knew nothing. Here, B, I had known nothing about you when I met you. But it means like before meeting you, right? But actually, now that I'm looking at the when, I was thinking about before. So I guess A is best, actually, to tell you the truth.
Mm.
Because when I met you, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about this specific moment in the past, right? So yeah, this would, this
Mr.
works better. But be okay. If I said before I met you, yeah,
Mr.
uh
If
huh.
I go with B, for example, if I want to say, uh, oh, where is the
Oh, sorry.
that one? If I use, I had known nothing about you, and should I use, and when I had met you here too, or
Yeah, it could work. I had known nothing about you when I met you. This could work
this
because,
is
like,
okay?
because obviously knowing comes before meeting, right?
Yeah.
So it works. Of course, this works but when also gives me a specific point in the past met.
Mm.
So the moment I met you, I knew nothing, right? So if I'm thinking like this, that moment I met you, the moment when, because when I say when, that means at that moment, right? I met you. That's a specific point in the past. In that moment, I knew nothing about. Here, I had known nothing about you. Would be best with before I met you. Of course, before for sure would make this better, but it still works because obviously I can still argue, right, that knowing comes before meeting. But they both work. A and B are both good, like it says here. Like it says here, both A and B are good. Depending, actually, before I thought B was better, but now analyzing, they're both just as good. A and B were the best options here.
Okay.
Right? So critical. Okay, so now I agree with the critical success. Yes. Yeah. B, critical success. You nailed it. While discover is great, pairing it with about, right, sounds clunky in this context. Switch to the phrasal verb found out about. Sounds completely natural and fluent.
Clunky, what it does it
Clunky is kind of like
clunky?
desengonçado,
Okay.
kind of something like that. Clunky. It
Okay.
doesn't sound. It doesn't sound smooth. Não é suave,
Okay.
right? Critical success. A brilliant choice. You fix the spelling of shadow and replace the clunky. Just
Hmm.
was able to see. You see, clunky, when they use this a lot, clunky, desengonçado, means it's like not fluent.
Unnatural, right?
Unnatural, yeah. Just was able to see with the highly evocative narrative phrase, catch a glimpse of a shadow, yes. Pegou glimpse, algo só movimento. A glimpse is like uma olhada bem rápida, right? Você só vê um
Right.
vulto passando, right? That's a
Yeah, that.
glimpse, right? So catch a glimpse of a shadow. Yes, it's all vulto, right? This dramatically elevates your descriptive writing. Yes. D was also critical success, a clean sweep. You correctly recognized that you could either change the pronoun to plural, those things, or change the noun to singular, that thing. Aquelas coisas ou aquilo, right? Aquela coisa que você me falou, aquelas coisas, right? It could be both to fix the grammatical mismatch. There's another thing here. All of the above are better. Two, let me see here. Two, you chose B, right? Here. When I found out about the priests and the church, when I discovered,
Yeah.
the
It's
found out talk about this was better. When I discovered the priests and the church, okay. When I discovered information about they all kind of work. I was thinking about here
the A option that
because
I
here
was written. Yeah.
this is better alternatives, right?
Yeah.
D could be correct here.
The,
B is the best. I think is the best, but D here, all of the above are better alternatives than what you have said. Yeah, you see, when I discovered about the priests and the, you know, when I discovered the priests, you don't discover about,
okay. This is
right?
the
I
difference.
discovered the priest because descobriu ele, right?
Yeah.
Found out. We discovered information about, yeah, That can work to discover information about the priest. So all here, all of these alternatives were good.
Okay.
Right? Very good, very good. Well, it gave you a critical success. After we will read this, we will see the outcome. Well, what will the priest say about all of this? Well, we shall see next episode. Episode 5 of 6's Tiny Nightmare. Right?
Cool.
Well, mister, have a great week. And
You too.
See you next episode. See you on episode 5.
You too, Master Lyle. See you. Bye bye. Have a great week.
Thank you very much.
See you.
See ya.